gave you guys a teaser that's what we're going to be talking about. But the question is, why is it easy to throw in the towel and give up? I don't know who submitted this question, but this is everybody at some point in time in life. No matter what you have experienced, at some point you either felt this way or you actually did throw in the towel. But yeah, so I'm just gonna jump right in. I'm gonna be as brief. And so as I was listening to that song, it was a constant reminder, and the key word was reminder. Why is it so easy for us to throw in the towel? My first answer, and probably a very easy answer to it, is because we forget. We forget why we're in that position. We forget why we were called to that role. We forget why we started. We forget. We have this amnesia that takes place, and it causes us to forget our why. And I talked about this a while back on a long time ago in a Why Wednesday, that we forget our why. You know, we have this lapse of memory because, again, we're jaded. We're so consumed with the issue that we're experiencing, that we're facing. Our vision is not on the foundation of why we started. It's not on the goal. It's not on the premise of our purpose. It's not on the premise of our vision. It's on the problem. The problem is consuming us. So yeah, we completely forget. We forget about our why. We don't even want to think about our why, because right now at this very moment, this issue is so big, I literally just want to give up. I don't want to continue to pursue this. I feel like it's not worth it. And the key word is I feel, because all the feelings start coming up and all the expressions of those feelings start manifesting. And then we stay in that. We stay in that little puddle. And I can vouch for the fact that I get on the floor like a child and have a temper tantrum because something is not going in the way, or going the way that I want it to, or the way that I expected it to. And that's a key thing for us, because, and I'm going to speak to those of us who are pursuing something that we know we are purposed to do, something that we know that God has called us to do. And so that very truth, that very fact is the mere reason why we have to get away from always thinking that it has to go the way we think it should go, or the way that we expect it to go. If we get so caught up in our own expectations, we're gonna quite frankly always be disappointed, because what we expect is not always the journey. It's not the way in which God has set our journey out. So we think that it's going to be smooth, or we want it to be smooth, and we want it to be smooth and easy, so much so that we put our expectations on it. And that's not who God, or how God has made us to be. I mean, we have more strength and more power, more influence, more knowledge, more wisdom than we give ourselves the credit for. We have far more. And we tend to forget about, I don't care how much strength I have, I want it to go this way. No, God is saying, well, in order for me to use you, in order for you to be influential in the earth according to my glory and according to my will, then you have to do it my way. Otherwise, you don't get the glory on the other side. See, I talk about this, or I'm working on something for people who are really new in building their relationship with God. I think oftentimes we get so caught up in trying to pursue what God wants us to pursue, and we want all the things. Like he said, he shows us that, this is the possibility. These are the things that you can actually attain if you do the work. This is what things are going to look like on the other side of this power, on the other side of this journey, rather. As you continue to pursue those things, you're going to eventually get to this result. So our eyes are on the prize, right? Our eyes are on this, not on the journey, not on the hard work, not on the circumstantial issues that are going to come in and knock you upside the head and punch you in the throat. But we're looking at the prize. So we're like, oh, the prize, the prize, the prize. And then once we start going through and going on that journey, we are, again, trying to make it as easy as possible, trying to make it as quick as possible, trying to streamline it as much as possible so that we won't feel pain and aggravation and, again, impatience. We want to make it go swift and smooth. And God is saying, that's not the journey that I called for you. That's not the way you're going to go through it. You're going to have to go through it the hard way. And here we are, complaining, having temper tantrums because it's not going the way we want it to go. But here's the kicker. If we want what is on the other side of this problem, then we have to do it God's way. We can't get God's blessings if we don't get to it God's way. Meaning, I can't create a whole storyline of how I'm going to get God's blessings and get to it by my way. I just can't. It's just like somebody saying, okay, well, if you need this, if you need this thing, this is how you get it. Someone gives you instructions to go on a computer and you need to push this button, you need to go this route, you put this application in, you need to do this. They're giving you verbatim instructions. And then you say, well, no, I'm going to look for the shortcuts. I'm going to look for this and I'm going to try it this way. Well, you're not going to get the result. You're just not going to get the result. We're always trying to look for those gaping holes. We're trying to look for ways to cut corners. We're looking for hookups. It's just not. I mean, if you want the blessings that God has, that's the point. Now, if you want your own blessings, if you want the things that you can get on your own, then by all means, go after it. But if you want what God has for you, if you want the beautiful big things, and that's where I'm going to get to, the big things, you're going to have to go through it. You're going to have to go through the pain. You're going to have to go through the problems. You're going to have to go through the issues because it's all purposeful. God is not allowing you to go through those things just to see you suffer. It's for a grandiose purpose. It's for a divine purpose. We talk about the word divine so frequently when it's good things, but some of the things that we have to go through, it's divine. We have to pass through it. We can't go around it. We have to pass through it because there's a purpose in that issue. There's a purpose in that circumstance. There's a purpose even in those delays that we didn't create. So that song is called I Am Still Here, and it's by the grace of God. So wherever you are, wherever we are in the process to get to our results, to get to our goal, we have to remind ourselves, number one, I'm still here. This is a song called I'm Still Here by Dorinda Clark Cole. And if you've never heard of this song, I'm going to try to remember after this live to go in and tag the link, the YouTube link for this song, because it really ministered to me heavily today. And this may be a song that you can replay when you're having those moments constantly over and over again to remind yourself, wait a minute, Shalonda, you are still here. You are still here. What things that try to take you out, what things that has tried to demolish you and kill you and try to hinder you and try to trap you has not. You're still here. And it is by the grace of God, like the song says. It is by the grace of God. What does grace mean? The grace is the unmerited favor of God. This is a favor that no one can ever work for. I could never work for or deserve the type of grace that God gives. So the things that he has done for me, the way in which he blesses me, the way in which he keeps me and gives me peace, I could never do anything to deserve it. I could never work for it. It's simply because he loves me and because he cares for me. So to remind ourselves that I'm still here because God's grace, because God's unmerited favor, that means that no matter what I do and what I've done, he still loves me enough to grace me to still be here. In the position that I'm in, I'm still here. I'm still fighting, but I'm still here. I'm still crying, but I'm still here. I'm crawling, but I'm still here. And so as I listened to that song over and over again, I was just, again, reminded of how we can get our wires crossed when something comes up. Let's talk about our past. When we're reminded of our past failures, when we are reminded of the time of time that has elapsed, we've lost time because, and I can speak on this so much because I feel like I should be further along than I am. But God has to constantly stop me in my tracks and say, hold up, wait a minute. Although you've made some mistakes along the way, although you've not gotten it right every single time, you're here by my grace. You're right where I need you to be. And as long as you keep your eyes on me, you're right where you're supposed to be in the timing that you need to be in it. So we don't have to question the timing. We don't even have to question or allow our failures to keep us down, to hold us hostage, to keep us captive in our minds and in our hearts, and cause us to and prevent us from progressing and moving forward, because our failures are purposeful. That's something we can remind ourselves, right? We can remind ourselves that failures are purposeful. It was on purpose. I was a knucklehead on purpose. Okay. I made a mistake on purpose. God allowed me to make that mistake. God allowed me to be hard-headed. God allowed me to be in the wrong place at the wrong time, because he knew that back then was eventually going to bring me to this point, and I can look back on that and see how far I've come, and I can be reminded of the message and the thing that has helped me to get past it. So now I know what I did and why I did it, and so I won't do it again, hopefully, right? So there's a purpose behind the failures. So then, yes, I can remind myself that, yes, those failures are back there, and they will try to rear their little ugly heads in the present. But we have to talk back to that failure and say, you were on purpose. And because I made that mistake, I got to where I am today. And although I might make a mistake right now today, it's eventually that lesson is going to help me and propel me to my tomorrow, to my next week, to my next month, to my next year, to my next goal. So remind yourself, pull yourself out of the problem, out of the circumstance as much as you possibly can. Pull yourself out of the lies that the world tries to tell you. Pull yourself out of the lies that you even try to tell yourself. Pull yourself out of it as much as you possibly can, just so you can remind yourself that it is by the grace of God that I'm still here. And every failure, every mistake that I've ever made, it was on purpose, and it brought me to here. I've learned lessons, and I will continue to learn lessons. I am a student of life. I will continue to learn. I will continue to mess up. I will continue to get it wrong. But as long as I know I'm still here by the grace of God, and God is moving me by his grace, he is continuing to move me and to propel me. As long as I keep my eyes on him and not on the problem, keeping my position on purpose, not on what the world wants me to pursue, but on what God wants me to pursue, on what's best for me, because he has determined what is best for me. And then, of course, the present. We talked about the past and how we are reminded of our failures and of the things that have transpired and how much time has elapsed up from then to now. Now we could talk about the present, because that's what we're dealing with right now, right? We're dealing with the actual issues that's popping up, the things that we didn't plan to happen, the things that we did not want to, the things we actually tried to prevent from happening actually happened. So circumstances are now causing me to question, why am I here? What am I doing? Why am I, girl, did you think this thing through? Are you sure you're able to handle this? So now you start doubting. And now you start questioning and wondering and spiraling your little self out of control, spiraling ourselves out of control to the point where now we're questioning whether we're even supposed to be here, whether we even need to be doing the thing. Am I actually equipped to handle what I'm doing right now? Does all this even make sense? Is it even necessary for me to do the thing that I'm doing? So you start questioning and wondering, what am I doing here right now? This present moment, this problem, this issue, this thing, this little aggravating bug, this gnat. You know, it's gnat season right now. So these gnats is aggravating, okay? So it's like a little gnat that just will not. And y'all know gnats don't have eyes. My sister told me that they're blind. They don't even know. They don't even know where they're going. Okay, so sorry, I digress. But it's like a little aggravating gnat that will not get away. That will not leave you alone. Those little lies, those little constant reminders that cause you to question, why are you doing this? Do you know what you're doing? People aggravating you, people not fulfilling their duties and their responsibilities, people not holding up their end of the deal, people not supporting you like you want them to support you. The present moment that we're in right now. And I started writing this, and I'm gonna get to it because it's real good to me, and hopefully it helps you. But again, we have to remind ourselves of our whys. Whatever it is that you're pursuing, whatever it is that we are pursuing in life, there has to be something so heavy, so big, so huge that comes with that that thing that you're doing comes with the purpose. You paid a price for that thing, and there is a big old result on the back end of that thing. Once you that goal that you're trying to get to, this big present, you know, like when they have the cars, a really nice car, you know, if it's a real nice car, it has to have a big red bow on it. I mean, when I'm ready to buy that kind of car, I want a big red bow. So that kind of thing, when you get to that point, whatever that looks like for you, you have to remind yourself that in order for me to get to that big red bow, I have to pursue what I am purposed to do. Remind yourself that I am on purpose, that this very thing that I know I'm supposed to be doing right now, it is on purpose. It is valuable to not just me, but to people around me. It's valuable to God. God is gracing you to be the person that you are. And then let's talk about the future. Yes, Shell, we are a student of life. Let's talk about the future. This is the exciting part for me. We all have these big, tall orders to fulfill in life. Big, tall orders. Big, tall things. Big, tall tasks and projects. And these things are bigger than you on purpose. I call it a tall feat, which means It's big. It's bold. It requires great courage, great skill. It's a tall feat. It's something that it's beyond what you can see with your normal eye. You have to see beyond this. You have to see this even in the spirit, because it's so big. You can't even it's almost like you can't even grasp it with your actual hand, with your physical hands tangibly. But you can see it in the spirit. You can see it in this, like a dream. So big. So sometimes things are so big that you start questioning, is this really something that I'm supposed to be accomplishing? I can promise you I'm that person that I'll ask, am I really supposed to be accomplishing this? Is it supposed to be me? Am I positioned? Am I equipped to do something this big? And I wrote down whatever that thing is that's on your mind right now. If you don't know, now you know it's bigger than you. And it's supposed to be bigger than you. I've heard many, many preachers, and I absolutely get it now. If I never got it when they were saying it, that if it's easy and if it's something that you can handle, it's not big enough. If it's something that is going to be easy and smooth and no issues, no problems, it's not big enough. And the question that I wrote down, that I'm asking myself, and you should ask yourself, do you know how big you are? Do you know how equipped you are? Do you know how powerful you are? Do you know how influential you are? Do you know who God called you to be and how God called you to be it? Do you know how effective you are? Do you know how many people's lives you are changing or helping or influencing in a very good and purposeful way? And I said the word big. Do you know how big you are? The BIG. And that for me is an acronym for me to forever remember, is baby is God. That's a key thing to be reminding yourself. Baby, it's God. So when I ask myself, can you handle this? Is this something that you really are equipped to do? Is this really something that God has appointed me, has chosen me to do? My response is, baby, it's God. It is not my own strength. It is not my own knowledge. It is not my own willpower. It's God. God chose me for this moment. God chose me for this purpose. God chose me. And if he chose me, he has equipped me. He's given me every single thing, even if I don't see it, even if I don't feel it, even if I don't know it. He's already equipped me. It's on the inside. Some things need to come out, and that's why problems persist. That's why hard times and challenges take place, because the challenges causes us to see the things that are laying dormant in us that need to come out. Voila! You want to know how powerful you are? Go through some things. You want to know how resilient you are? Go through some things. If it's bigger than you, it's the right size. That's what God told me. If it's bigger than you, it's the right size. There is no way you can or will ever do the big things in your own strength. God set it up that way. So when you feel like giving up, when you feel like throwing in the towel, God set it up that way. He set it up just for you to get to the point where you have spent all of you. I wrote down, when you've run out of you, when you have spent all of you, you feel like you have nothing else to give. You don't want to give anything else. Like, I'm done. I'm tired of giving. I'm tired of pouring. I'm tired of working. I'm tired of building. I'm tired of trying. Listen, I'm tired of putting all these all this content together for only a select group of people to consume it. Yeah, I do. I do get tired of it. But God says, when you run out of you, it's time to let God pick it up from there. So when you are right there, when you either feel it or you think it or you say it, that I'm ready to throw in the towel, you're right where God needs you to be. Because it is just an opportunity for God to show himself mighty, to show himself powerful, to show up in your life, to do something divine, to let you know that he is still for you and that you still need him. Because we can be rocking and rolling and we see ourselves accomplishing things and, we're getting all the accolades and we're getting all the pats on the back. We're making money in our business. We're doing great things within our family. Our family is thriving. Our homes are beautiful and our business is booming and our jobs are just, we're just rocking and rolling. Things are going great. And then, kapow. Something happens and you're like, what? Yeah, you were doing pretty good. And God says, I just need to stop you for a moment to remind you that it's not just you. It's not just your strength that's pulling you through this thing. It's not just you. I had pastors say many, many times, and I love it. It's not about you, boo. It's not just us. It's not just us fighting. God is constantly wanting to remind us that he's with us and he wants us to rely on him. He wants us to ask for help. So when you are at your throwing in the towel, I'm pretty much ready to just get over this. I'm done. I'm tired. God says, bingo. I've been waiting for you to get here. Thanks. Now are you ready to rely on me? Now are you availing yourself back to me? Now are you giving me room and space to work in your life, to do things through you so that when people see you, they actually see me? When people encounter you, they actually are encountering me. God just wants glory, right? God wants you to acknowledge that it's not just you, it's him. He's working through you. He is empowering you. Everything that you are using, all the talents and the skill and the gifts that are in you, that you are exercising, that you are using every day, is because God put it in you. He literally formed you and created you that way. So when you run out of you, let God step in. I say it all the time. Give God room. When you are at that place, when you are right there at the cusp of ready to throw in the towel, this is the moment to say, okay, God, I give up. Hands up, under arrest. God, I give up. I'm tired of trying to do this on my own. It is not my strength alone. It is not my wisdom and my knowledge alone. It is not even my skill and my gifts, because you gave those to me. So I'm relinquishing this moment back to you. I'm reminding myself that the very thing that I know that I'm supposed to be doing in this season of my life is because you have picked me, you hand selected me and equipped me to do it. So I need to rely on you. I need to ensure that people know that this is your thing. This is not my thing. This is your thing, God. Because what we're doing is we're causing people to recognize that the same God that can help me or you can also help them. So when we leave room for God and we give God space to just be glorified, then other people will see, wow, what kind of faith do you have? Like, tell me about what you do and how you do things, because I want to live that life. I want to experience those types of blessings. How do I experience those types of blessings? Well, you have to surrender to God first. I want to end by saying we're going to experience those feelings because we're people, we're human beings. We're going to experience moments where we want to throw in the towel. And the key word here tonight is, well, one of the words at least, is just remind yourself who you are, who God called you to be. And remind yourself that you're on purpose. Remind yourself that the things that you went through and the failures and the things that you had to experience in your past are on purpose. Everything is valuable. Every experience has a value to it. We may not know and understand why we're going through some things in that moment, but eventually, months or years from now, I know you can think about some things that if you look back over your life and say, you know what, I know why I went through that. I know why I experienced that, because look how it's helped me and propelled me in my current situation, in my current life. Like, it's helped me. I've learned some things. So God set it up this way for us to get to this quote unquote, not breaking moment, but to this breakdown moment, if you will. God's trying to break in to your heart and to your mind to let you know that, hey, it's not just you that's rocking and rolling, trying to make things happen, trying to get to that big red bow, trying to get to the green grass on the other side, trying to meet that particular goal. It's not just in our own strength. It's not just us that's fighting to survive, that's fighting to win, that's fighting to overcome. It is God's strength. It is God's power. It is God's presence. His gifts, love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control, all the things, all the gifts that we get because we relinquish ourselves back to Him. We surrender ourselves back to Him because He's so good, because He loves us. Remind yourself. It's that easy. When you think about it, it's really easy. It's really to break yourself out of that. Once you do it a few times, you start realizing, okay, the devil is not going to take me down in this place ever again. You're not going to cause me to throw in the towel. I may think it. I might feel like I want to, but I will never. Not now. Not ever again. I hope and I pray that we all get to that point, that we are reminding ourselves that we are overcomers every single day, and that the things that are just really not comfortable, that we really just want to punch something or somebody when we're going through and trying to get somewhere and we're tired and we're exhausted already, it's for a purpose. Get yourself out of that mode and remind yourself why you're in the place that you're in, because God set it up that way. I'm just a messenger. All right, guys. Whew. Well, hopefully whoever submitted this question, this was helpful and something that you can apply, something that is practical, that will help you and aid you. Hope that is something that we all can begin to implement into our daily lives and thinking, so that we can have a little bit more peace. We should be adding a little bit more peace to our day every single day. Do something. Do something every single day that's giving you a little bit more peace than you had the day before. Peace is a gift from God. It's not even something that we have to work for. We just have to make room for it. So do something. Make a little room in your life every single day to add a little bit more peace than you did the day before. This is one of those ways. Just to remind yourself, just to pull away for a moment from the negative thoughts and the fears and the doubts. And just remind yourself why you're here and that you are still here by the grace of God. And that you are on purpose, no matter what circumstances look like or feel like. All right, guys. Well, thank you. Thank you for those who chimed in. Thank you, Shell. Thank you for viewing. Thank you in advance for my, what do you call them? The people that watch later. My replays. That's what I'm trying to say. Thank you so much again. Just a reminder, 2nd and 4th Wednesdays for the time being for Why Wednesdays. I have two more classes, and then my certification class will be done. I can't wait to share it with you. So I'm working on that, and I'm working on 2 more things that I can't tell you right now. But I'm excited, and it is mentally consuming. So I do need a little extra time in the week to work on those things, which is why I'm asking for your grace for Why Wednesday. But again, thank you so much. I love you all so much, and I hope that you continue to have a great rest of your week. And we're looking forward to hopefully a sunny and nice weather weekend. But until then, I'll see y'all on the flip side. Love y'all. Take care. And keep reminding yourself that you are